Hi there, it's Wendy from Ask the Landlady. I'm here with all the tips and tricks to help you make a profit in real estate rentals. And today's question is, what do I do if I'm buying a property that already has an existing tenant living there? So, inheriting tenants can be a great thing because it helps you not have to immediately fill the apartment, right? There's already somebody there paying the bills, hopefully. But there are some challenges that can present us as well. So I have today 4 things on the video that I want to tell you about what to do if you're buying a property that already has a tenant. So first of all, you want to make sure you have a copy of that lease that the owner has already established with that tenant. You have to follow that lease. So whatever that rent says, that's what the rent is. If it's a 2-year lease, it's a 2-year lease. You have to abide by the qualifications in that lease and make sure. So, you may have somebody there living there for $400 a month, and your analysis had said this would rent great for $800. Well, you might be stuck with that $400 rental for several months until you can start to make some changes. And also, you would have to wait for the expiration of that lease in order to give the tenant a 30 or 60-day notice, depending on your area, in order to vacate the premises in case you had a different plan for that property. So first thing is to make sure you get that lease and you know what it says. Second of all, make sure you've inspected inside and checked out that tenant's unit and you know what you're getting into as far as their housekeeping and just the general state of the property, right? Maybe you're looking at a triplex, you looked at one and, oh, this one's great. Well, you don't realize that the other 2 are not remodeled like that first one. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you look at all of them. You don't want any surprises like, oh, there's a hoarder living here, or, oh, the tenant has 8 dogs. So again, make sure that you do that. So you want to see everything that you're getting into. So make sure you see inside those units. I know sometimes buying a big multi-unit complex like we've done in the past wasn't quite feasible to do that. But again, talk to the owner. Do they do regular inspections, and do they have an accounting of what the status of those apartments is like, so that you can make sure that you are doing a good comparison and your due diligence as far as how the tenant lives currently in that unit. So number 3, you want to make sure you know of any unusual situations, like perhaps the tenant they were getting reduced rent because they take the trash cans out or they do the lawn care. You want to know that because the lease might say they pay $500 a month, but they might say, oh no, half the year I mow the lawn, so it's only $450 that I pay, whatever. So you want to make sure that you know of any of those strange circumstances. So talk to the owner about that and the tenant to get a little comparison about that. And that brings me to number 4, which is to ask the tenant a lot of questions. When you go to show the property, a lot of times tenants are there. If they're there, I love to ask them questions about the unit because they can be a wealth of information, especially if you're seeing it with a realtor, not necessarily the owner. You can ask them anything, what needs fixed, what needs replaced, has anything been upgraded or repaired recently, how are your utility bills. It's also a good chance to meet the potential tenant and see how you mesh and what they do that. You might ask them again, where do they get their mail and who does the lawn care, and that's where you might find out about some of those unusual circumstances. They might say, oh, I do all this maintenance work and I get rent for free. Well, you need to know these things. So again, just going back and just talking to that tenant and pumping the information is a great thing. I'm sorry, my dog's down here wanting some little attention there, little diva. So anyway, that's all I had to say about it. 4 things about it is inheriting tenants can be great, but they can also be challenging, and those are 4 things that you want to do before you do that. So I gotta go take care of this little baby. But in the meantime, check out my books on Amazon and shoot me a comment, hit subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Have a great day.